if you saw my last couple of videos on this trip, the weather was awful, the wind was in the face, the rain was like driving through a car wash, and fuel efficiency, energy efficiency, cost of travel had gone up by quite a lot. But outside of this danky hotel car park, it's actually a nice day out there, so I'm going to try something different. I am going to take the scenic meandery way home, and we're going to see just how efficient we can be if we gently waft along. Hello again, YouTube, and welcome back to Just Get a Tesla. And yes, it is another efficiency challenge video. It's mid-March, it's 10 degrees, and that's inside this dank and dodgy car park. It's going to be much nicer outside, so let's see how we get on. Now running up the A1 towards Berwick, and this is exactly the kind of road where autopilot is great, and where once full self-driving actually does land in the UK, I will be using it, because this is the kind of run where, sure, let the car take over, it's absolutely fine. But you've just seen in that montage of me driving along the Northumbria coastal route, and I do mean driving, that's the kind of road that is fun to drive, especially when you have got a Tesla, when you have got a load of power and you have got a load of grip, because it's all-wheel drive in my case. This is a fun car to drive. So I do look sometimes at some of the other Tesla influencers who are almost happy-clappy about FSD as being the thing that everybody will want and will abandon every other car to have, and just think, you're mad. No, they won't. And we already know this because in America we have seen repeated free trials of FSD, and the take-up rate has still been a trickle afterwards. People like to drive, and I've made this point on other videos and things as well. People like to drive. I love driving. I'm very happy being driven on a road like this. Very happy, and upgrade the software to something that does it even better. And
absolutely fan-dabby-dozy.
But I do not want, and I do not understand these Tesla influencers who seem to be competing with each other to be driven by FSD as much as possible. And some of them, pushing to, 98, 99, or even alleged 100%, but then they admit that they keep having to dab the throttle here and there. That is not, that is not completely intervention free. So I think in the real world, FSD as a piece of software is definitely going, and it just started twitching. FSD as a piece of software is something that absolutely will add value to the Tesla package. But is it going to be groundbreaking and transform the world, as some people are saying? No, of course it won't. And there is a willingness to miscomprehend, is that a word, how people think and what people do and how they act. And I think they're doing it because within the Tesla community, you have to be all in on whatever scheme Elon is trying to push, because it's always a scheme. And on this one, it's you will not drive, everybody wants FSD and to be driven. And it just isn't true. It's going to be great without the nag quite as much as this on roads like this. But for driving, no. I've just pulled over at Berwick, and we are just over 80 miles into this trip, and I am on 227 watt hours per mile, so 4.5 basically miles per kilowatt hour. Now, compared to the trip down, that is an improvement of 50%. 50% improvement. 3 miles per kilowatt hour on the way down, 4.5 so far on the way back, which is sensational. So I'm going to grab a snack and then we're going to carry on. I'm going to come off the A1 again and do a little bit of back road wafting because I can. And we'll see if we can find some other more interesting routes on the way home. It's still a beautiful day with the sun shining. So yeah, let's go and enjoy ourselves. But 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour is a massive improvement. So I'm delighted. So I'm now plugged in at Edinburgh, and the good news is that despite 65, 70 miles an hour running from Dunbar along the A1 and then the Edinburgh City bypass, and despite preconditioning the battery, the overall consumption is still only 254 watt hours per mile. It's basically 4 miles per kilowatt hour. That is really impressive. So I would say warmer temperatures today, but it's saying here 7 degrees. But the lack of wind and the fact that it's relatively dry has made a huge difference to the efficiency that I'm getting versus what I was having on the way down. A huge difference. So After unplugging at Edinburgh, as you can see on the screen, I'm going to go to Aberdeen and top up there again. I don't have to do that. I could charge here for longer and then just go home, but I know the guys in Aberdeen. I'll go and say hello, and then I am going to basically see how low I can get that number. 254 is great, but I want to get it closer to 200. Before we go any further in today's video, I want to thank today's sponsor, Jawa, who sent me 3 fantastic products to review. First up, we have Jawa's solution to the trunk of the car not having enough light. And this is a trunk lighting solution where we are going to install a lighting strip under the rubber. Inside the kit, we get a number of goodies. The light strip itself, which has got a little magnetic catch, which you simply put up onto the stopper on the boot, and then there is a corresponding sensor so that every time you open and close, it comes on. And for power, you get this 3-in-1 12-volt outlet, so it plugs into the existing one inside the trunk, and then you've got space for another 12-volt as well as a pair of USB-C. Putting the strip into position is very simple. You're putting the grey part underneath the rubber and leaving the light part sticking out. So once you've finished it, you just plug into the supplied adapter, the USB goes in there. There is a controller which velcros anywhere you like onto the wall. And at night, the light strip absolutely transforms the rear of your car. Moving inside the car, the next product up is this rear LED power hub, which we're going to put in underneath the screen. So the idea behind this product is to increase the amount of USB-C holes you have got in the back of your car. There's only 2, and this will give you 4, so 2 on the right hand side, 1 on the left, and then you have got this extendable charger which comes out on a reel. Once this is installed, you have got a light on the underside which you can switch on and off, and as I said, you have got an extendable USB cable which is perfect for charging devices which are a little further away. And next we have got Jawa's air vent mounted ventilated phone charger. Now I think this is a really clever idea, and let me show you why. If you want to run Waze or a similar app, then this phone mount is for you. Attach your phone onto it magnetically. It is cooled while it's being charged, and the display is nice and clear through the steering wheel. So you still have got the standard Tesla display available, but then you can have Waze right in front of you. And there you have it, 3 fantastic new Jawa products. If you want to buy those or anything else in the Jawa range, then please use the referral link on the screen below. You get a handy discount and it helps the channel. And now back to the video. Just as we get going from Edinburgh, one thing I have realised is I didn't actually reset the trip when I set off this morning, so I was relying on the fact that it was since charged, but of course I have now charged. So we are going to have to do this on aggregates, okay? So what I will do is I'm going to aggregate the efficiency that I got on the leg up to Edinburgh, because I got that on the screen, and then I am going to take this second leg, and then I'll add them together, and I'll be able to put on the screen what result we actually get. So a minor annoyance, but it's okay. I'm good at maths, so it'll be fine. Anyway, the weather is not quite as beautifully sunny as it was in Newcastle this morning, but yeah, let's see how we get on. Definitely taking the back roads way towards home, but that's fine. It's good to go and explore, and since we left Edinburgh, more than 50 miles now, and 248, so it's below where we'd got to at Edinburgh, which is good. My average is coming down. It was 252 if you remember, and yeah, hopefully this guy isn't going to carry on trundling all day because he's getting a bit annoying. But the idea is we are going the alternative to the A90, so we're going nowhere near Dundee, and we're basically sticking on the back roads for a while just as an alternative. Basically, sometimes I just like to drive my car. Now plugged in at the supercharger in Aberdeen, and there is news from the efficiency perspective, which is I don't think I actually really need to do aggregating at all, because on the previous leg I was on 252 watt hours per mile. On this leg I'm on 246 watt hours per mile. So let's just, for cash and for the sake of making it nice and easy, just call it 250, because basically that's where it's going to come out, which is 4 miles per kilowatt hour, which, you know what, that is a hell of a lot better still than the 3 that I got on the way down. So what do we learn from this? Oh, and by the way, that is with 2 supercharger stops, so 2 lots of preconditioning, which supposedly actually burns a bit of power to warm up the battery. So what do we learn from this? Well, on the way down, on the previous video that I did, the wind was blowing hard in the face for a significant portion of the trip, really hard, and then the rain started lashing down as well, which made efficiency pretty brutal. If you have got wind pushing hard into the face, the car has got to work really hard to be able to push through it, and that's why it consumes more power. On this trip, no wind at all. I mean, I've gone past a couple of windsocks and they've been completely floppy, and that means no wind in any direction. It's been dry, it's been, I wouldn't say warm, but 8-9 degrees, and it's made a massive difference. So wind in the face, you're going to have a bad time. Anything other than that, providing that you're taking it relatively gently, it's fine. Had I thrashed my way along the motorway, probably doing 70 miles an hour or maybe more, I never do more on camera, of course, or ever, Mr. Officer, but had I been doing that, I am certain that I would have burned more power than I have done. It's because I've decided to take the more interesting routes and actually drive this car while I'm still allowed. That's where we've ended up doing that. So I hope this meandering little trip has been interesting. Like and subscribe if it has been, and I will see you back here very soon on Just Get a Tesla.